Hi there, this is Whiskey and Whit. I'm Whitney, and today we are doing a fall DIY. I'm gonna show you how I made this red truck pumpkin sign, and secret, it is a $1 sign from the Dollar Tree, so stick around. So as you can see, I did this sign with my Cricut, so I will show you how I did that and link all of those SVG files below. But also, if you don't have a Cricut, you can make this same sign. All you need to do is use the PNG file that I'll link down below, and you can attach it to this sign with Mod Podge. So it's gonna look just as cute, it's just not gonna be as shiny because it's not gonna be vinyl. You can also make your own stencil with this, so there's a lot of different things you can do, but really, starting with a dollar sign, it's easy to do, so let's get started.
So here's what the sign looked like when I grabbed it from the Dollar Tree. They have a ton of different sizes of pumpkins, but this one was nice and big, which I liked. And I grabbed some Waverly chalk paint. You can get this at Walmart, and this is my favorite chalk paint of life. I love it. So step one was to remove the sticker from the back of the sign because that's going to be your canvas. Now Dollar Tree does not make it easy, so I had to break out the Goo Gone, use my nails, use my Cricut scraper, pretty much anything I had to get it off, which was a pain, but once I got it off, I was able to start painting, and I was going to cover that up anyway. The biggest tip I have is try to paint with the grain that you would see on a pumpkin, so curve around the side, curve around the center, and then you're also going to want to get all of the edges as well, just in case somebody walks past your sign and can see the side. The next thing I did for this first sign was weed all of my items. I will link the SVG below for this, so you can cut it out if you have a Cricut or Silhouette. I needed 4 colors of vinyl for this: red, orange, brown, and black for the tires. It's a little more involved than the one that I did, so I deleted some of the areas that I didn't want, and I updated the pumpkin font. This is Albrecht, and I will link it down below as well. So the secret to this is really going to lie within your transfer tape. So what I do is I put it on my table a few times, just so then that way it's not as sticky, because if you put fresh transfer tape on that thing, it's going to rip all that paint off that you just put on. So a little pro tip, stick it to the table first. Then I group my items because you're going to be stacking these. So I started with the pumpkins and the stems, and then I did the truck on top of the wheels. So then that way you only have 2 sheets to try to stick on and rip off instead of 4. So I lined everything up, made sure everything was in the center. And then I stuck down my pumpkins first, being really careful to only push really the pumpkin portion, not so much the transfer tape, again, for the sake of ripping it off. Then here, this one was a little bit more difficult just because it was a bigger surface area, but I tried to be really careful, and there was one area where I ripped off, but I just touched that up with paint. So it was pretty easy fix. Then all I did was reattach that silver leaf and then a bow that I made from some ribbon that I had to kind of dress up the top. And there you have it. It's that simple for the Cricut version. I really love the red truck, and it looks super cute in my house. I have it set up in my living room underneath where our TV's set up, and I just love it. Now, what happens if you don't have a Cricut? So that's what this option's for. So this is another Dollar Tree sign. This one's a little bit smaller. I really like that green leaf, but you're gonna wanna pop it off before you paint. Same thing as last time, get off that sticker, get rid of the hanger for your painting, and then paint along the edges as if you were going kind of with the grain of a pumpkin. I don't know if it's called grain, but that's what I'm calling it, the grain of the pumpkin. So as you can see, I'm kind of curving there. So this particular sign needed 2 coats, so I went ahead and did that. While that was drying, I printed out 2 PNG files. What you want to make sure is that you are using a laser jet printer, not an inkjet. And the reason I say that is you're going to see in a little bit, but this ink kind of didn't fully cooperate, but I do like the way it turned out, even though it kind of smeared on me. So just make sure that you start like that so you don't run into any issues like I did. You're going to want to trim around as close as you can to the design, and you can use any design. You don't have to use these, but I'll link them down below if you want to. So once your stuff is dry, then you're going to take Mod Podge and put a layer down. Now, if you aren't familiar with Mod Podge, it dries clear. So it's going to look like you're painting over the top, but it's not a huge deal. It dries clear. So you're going to stick it down, make sure all of your edges are glued down underneath, and then you're going to set it. So this is the part that freaks people out because you're painting over the top, but you're just going to take your Mod Podge, it will dry clear, and paint it over the top. Now here's where I'm saying you want to make sure you have whichever one prints digitally instead of just pumping the ink onto the paper. I'm not a tech savvy person, but that's what you're looking for. And there you have it. Super simple, easy. You can't even tell as long as you make sure all of your ends are down.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you. Give this video a thumbs up if you plan to try it, and also hit subscribe down below, because if you can see behind me, I've started doing my fall decor, so I'm gonna be sharing that later this week, so be sure to check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!